Hello, everyone. We are in week 7 of our Go Healthy program. Hope you all have been having a good week so far. Today, we're going to be discussing the success of last week's assignment. We'll talk about strategies to manage calories. We'll discuss the weekends and staying on track. And that is found in week 6 of your program booklet. We'll also be talking about dining out, which is found in week 10 of your program booklet. We'll discuss the week's assignment, introduce next week's topic, and then we'll talk about your Go Healthy tracker. So last week we discussed reading food labels. We talked about the 4 sections. The first section, of course, to always look at, excuse me, is serving information. So you want to look at serving size as well as servings. Number 2, we want to look at calories. So we want to look at amount per serving. So the number of calories can change depending on how much of the serving size you are having. Next, we want to look at the nutrients. So we want to look at total fat, cholesterol, sodium, carbohydrate, fibers, sugars, protein, and the vitamins and minerals. So the ones you want to focus on getting less of, again, is saturated fat, added sugars, and sodium. The nutrients that you want to get more of include dietary fiber, vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. In section 4, you can use that quick guide to percent daily value. As we mentioned last week, 5% is considered less. 5% or less is considered low. 20% or more is considered high. So today we're going to be talking about staying on track during the weekends and dining out. So I know during the week, usually most people have a routine set up, so it's usually easier to stay into the routine, but I know a lot of people usually are off during the weekend, so being out of that routine can make it easier to fall off track, excuse me. And usually during the weekends, you're more likely to dine out as well. So I have a question for you all. I want you to think about this and you can write it down. What is sabotaging your success in managing calories on the weekends and when dining out? So right now I'm going to review some calorie management strategies, and we can see if any of these resonate with you or something that you would be willing to try. So first, we're going to talk about the weekends. So weekends usually cause most of us to get out of our normal routine due to the lack of structure. So the goal is to try to keep with your normal routine and keep the Go Healthy fundamentals a priority. There are various strategies that you can implement. The first strategy is planning ahead for upcoming challenges. So knowing what your overeating triggers are, it can come in the form of people, physical environments, and emotions. You can plan your physical activity, so make sure you perform it first thing in the morning so you have more energy throughout the day. Stick to a sleep schedule. I know usually on the weekends you're not working, so you might not have to get up as early to go to work. So you might stay up a little later, but try to stick to that sleep schedule as much as possible. Avoid the all or nothing attitude. So if you have, a day where you fall off track, and let's say you indulge on a lot of unhealthier foods, don't adopt that all or nothing attitude where you feel like you have to continue with that. For weekend snacking at home, always have healthier options on hand. Keep in mind, out of sight, out of mind for unhealthier snacks. If you don't see them, um, you might not think about them and you'll be less likely to have them. Stay hydrated to avoid hunger throughout the day. Especially drinking water, which is one of our fundamentals. The more you drink water, it can act as an appetite suppressant. If possible, meal plan and meal prep on Saturday or Sunday. And then if you're dining out on the weekends, be smart about dining out. So let's talk about some strategies for dining out. As I mentioned before, a lot of times during the weekend is when people will find themselves dining out, more. So let's talk about some strategies and see if any of them will work for you. So, of course, dining out can present a major challenge in controlling your calories, but there are strategies that you can implement. So, the first strategy is keep your hunger under control by eating. Therefore, don't skip meals to save calories. So, if you can throughout the day, eat regular meals, but make sure there are lower calorie foods in your meals, such as vegetables and fruits. If you're going dining out at a restaurant, try to choose a restaurant that offers a wide selection of food and healthier options. If possible, avoid buffets. If available, survey the restaurant's online menu beforehand to make an informed, healthier choice. Calories are required to be listed on the menus of restaurants that are part of a chain of 20 or more. So this is when you can look at the nutrient value of the menu items. You can see how many calories they have, sodium, added sugars, carbs, especially if you're watching out for your carbohydrates, especially if you have diabetes. You can also look at the saturated fat in the menu items. So, whenever possible, survey the menu beforehand to make an informed, healthy choice. On the menu, look for healthier designations or symbols on the menu. You can also look for wording and choose foods that say grilled, broiled, steamed, roasted, poached, lightly sauteed. If possible, avoid foods saying fried, battered, breaded, smothered, Alfredo, rich, creamy. When ordering your foods, if there is a sauce that comes on it, you can get a sauce on the side, especially if you are getting a side salad. You can ask for your salad dressing on the side. So you can use the fork dip method. If you get that dressing or sauce on the side, you could take your fork, dip it in the sauce, then grab your food item. If possible, I know there are some restaurants that do the complimentary bread or chips and salsa. If you can, skip those items. Another strategy is to ask for a to-go box before your meal even arrives. Put half of your food in the box before eating it. Then you can eat the rest right at the restaurant. And then it's also a win-win because you can have half of that for lunch the next day. If possible, you can share your entree or appetizer or dessert with someone that is going out to eat with you. If you can, start your meal with eating all vegetables on your plate first to help you feel satisfied sooner. Slow down your eating, put your fork down between bites. Choose an appetizer as the meal or ask if they have an appetizer portion of the main meal. Choose calorie-free beverages and limit your alcohol. So those are just some strategies that you can try to implement the next time you dine out or on the weekend. So I want you to think about what strategy or strategies are you currently applying or you want to apply to manage your calories for the weekend and dining out. I know sometimes when people complete their tracker, something that they'll mention is they did good during the week, but the weekend is when they kind of fell off track and it was hard to get back adjusted at the beginning of the week. and then the same thing happens. It's like a cycle. So the goal of these strategies is to think about how you can stay on track even when the weekends come and when you dine out. So I want you to think about this question and write down those strategies, either in a notebook, you can write them down on your phone, on a sticky note, whatever works best for you to write it and it be visible. All right, so this week's assignment is to not only write those strategies down, but try to apply them to manage your calories for weekend success and dining out. The other part of the assignment is to continue to work on meeting all your minimum fundamentals every day. Next week's topic, we're going to talk about strategies to manage calories during social events and holidays. And as always, if you have not turned your Go Healthy Tracker in, please make sure you get that in. The next one will be due on the day of next class. That's all I have for you all for this week's class. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out via email. And I will be sending out this recording every week. So just expect that in your email. So thank you everyone for attending class and look forward to next week. Thank you everyone.